Survivor. Island of the Idols Survivor S43E3 show more about Survivor-type TV show network CBS genre reality. What the hell is this nonsense? Only 1 hour of Survivor this week? And a note to CBS. You have no one to blame for my fury but yourself. Now here we are with a completely normal hour-long installment and it's like, that's it? Actually, you know who's to blame. That's right, blame O'Connell and his suspiciously high-arching eyebrows, as if he's permanently about to send contestants on an amazing race around the globe. That's because instead, the former Kangaroo Jack and Piranha star is now hosting something called the Real Love Boat. I mean, I always thought the Real Love Boat was PCP, but apparently, it's also a new reality show hosted by O'Connell and wife Rebecca Romijn. A new reality show that happens to be airing Wednesday nights on CBS, starting this week. Survivor 43. The cast of Survivor 43, credit, Robert Voets, CBS. For all those who have been pining for longer Survivor episodes, guess what? So have Survivor producer. Why do you think they got rid of the opening title sequence and previously on segments? They always feel like they are cramming way too much action into way too little time. The problem is, CBS has only so much space they are willing to allocate on their schedule to Survivor each week, which is what happens when you have 318 shows with the initials NCIS or FBI in the title. And as much as I don't like it, I get it. Those shows are hella popular, but the Real Love Boat? If the dude who memorized every Charo appearance and can recite dialogue from the episode where Gopher and Julie McCoy had to fake being a couple and then hilariously fell in love for approximately 30 minutes is bummed about a Love Boat revival, then you have a problem. And when it's at the expense of the best show on the planet. Not unlike Jesse Lopez, I am now ready to sign the divorce papers. And look, I have nothing against Jerry O Connell. Seems like a nice enough guy. But if you are going to take away precious time from Survivor on a Wednesday night for a Jerry O Connell project, couldn't we at least get a little Sliders reboot working? Let's get some John Rhys-Davies and Kari Wuhrer up in this beeyotch. 1 hour is all we get. Really, 42 minutes once you take the ads out. So let's get into what went down in this totally normally sized episode that felt way too short anyway. I've been thinking about Gabler lately, which is mildly disturbing. I should be busy thinking about my job, my family, how terrible the Washington Commanders are, and other important matters like perhaps putting together a supercut of all the times Vanessa Lachey has had to say, "Is love truly blind?" Instead, I am thinking about stupid Gabler, and not just how much I hate saying his name, but it has to be a bummer to get on Survivor, and get all the way out there, and then sit through a prolonged quarantine period, and finally get on the island. And then almost immediately feel sick and absolutely terrible. I have a lot of sympathy for anyone not named Stephen Fishbach that has had to go through something like that. But it wasn't all bad news for Gabler this week. That's thanks to Sami feeling threatened by an older woman in Elie taking charge. The stealth team therefore decided to flip the script and tell Gabler that the ladies went through his bag to read his idol clue. This led to Owen playing dumb and acting like he didn't know they went through the bag, and Gabler playing even dumber and pretending he thought his idol was now powerless and only wanted to keep it to give to his daughter as a graduation present. I wrote back on premiere week that I felt like the Baka tribe was filled with type of personalities that would all insist on being the driver and not the passenger, and it appears that is exactly what is happening. Whether that car ends up being driven off a cliff remains to be seen. Survivor 43. The Baka tribe on Survivor 43, credit, Robert Voets, CBS. Karla has been playing it cautious on Survivor, and I cannot overstate how much producers hate that. They pretty much beat it into contestants' skulls throughout the casting process that they want risk takers. They want people who aren't going to be afraid to make a move. They want people who are going to put themselves out there, because wallflowers do not make for good TV. As a viewer, we can look at a decision like whether to risk your vote or pick up a beware advantage very objectively and strategically. We can run the numbers and come to a cold, calculated decision on what the best course of action is. But the contestants constantly have the producer's collective voice in their heads. And they want to have fun, and they want to experience the full spectrum of the game, and, yes, they want to make good television, which also translates to more of them on television. That's why sometimes you'll have a head-scratching decision, like when Chanel risked, and lost, her vote last season even though it was the only thing that could undo her position and alliance in the game. That voice was in her head, which is why I was so surprised when Karla took the safe and steady route last week at Journey Rock Island and did not risk her vote. And then she was at it again this week, in a very un-Xena-like move, actually putting back a beware advantage because she did not want to risk it for the biscuit. But then Karla had some time to rethink her drink, and hey, I totally get it. I've poured over some of my poorer decisions in life, like that time I showed up at a middle school dance in my sister's white suit because I thought it made me look like Miami Vice's Sonny Crockett. Not only did Karla rethink her decision, but she even made like Jesse Lopez and started taking a survey, insisting that James settle on either numerical or descriptive responses to her questions. Evidently, that was all the peer pressure she needed. She clearly understood that in this time of ancient gods, warlords and kings, a land in turmoil was crying out for a hero. She was Karla, a mighty princess forged in the heat of battle. The power, the passion, the danger, her courage will change the world. So Karla went back, and this time took the beware advantage. Like most viewers, I was excited by this development because I am a fan of beware advantages. Thought last week's bracelet task was fun, and was looking forward to seeing what Karla's mission was going to be. Unfortunately, it turned out to be something of a rerun. This is a mild complaint, mind you, but why not put 3 different beware advantage tasks on the 3 different beaches? That way we don't just have to watch the same bead procurement multiple times, but instead get 3 fresh missions throughout the pre-merge portion of the game. Instead, it felt a bit like a Big Brother competition where you have to watch players do the same competition back to back to back. And if you don't know what I am talking about because you don't watch Big Brother, then congratulations, you are a better person with more discerning taste than I am. Anyway, like I said, mild complaint. It was still fun watching Karla deceive her way to collecting all the beads and getting her immunity bracelet. Just would have preferred something completely new. Before we go any further, huge shout out to Dwight for continuing the long and proud tradition of world-class Survivor belly floppers. Dwight is here, and his form is perfect. I don't know why I love watching players unable to dive into water during challenges. I mean, me just being a terrible person is most of it, but the joy it gives me really is a bit on the absurd side.